Your monitor can leak data without sending a single packet. Most people think eavesdropping is microphones and wiretaps. That is the movie version. The real world has another category that is colder and more unsettling, compromising emanations. In plain language, electronic equipment can give off unintentional signals, not intended transmissions, not Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth, just physical byproducts of how circuits switch and how cables carry current. For decades, especially through the Cold War and into the present, militaries and intelligence services have treated those emissions as a security problem in facilities handling sensitive work. The public name you will hear connected to this is Tempest. Tempest is not a single gadget. It is a discipline. It is the idea that information can leak through physics, even when your network is isolated and your software is clean. There is a publicly available NSA handbook called NACSIM 5000 that describes Tempest fundamentals at a non-technical level. You will not get an instruction manual for building interception gear. A lot of operational detail is classified for obvious reasons, but the core concept is open. Electronics radiate, and sensitive environments engineer around that reality. Some equipment is evaluated under emission security standards, and some facilities are designed around those assumptions. This is where you may hear terms like red and black. In simple terms, red is the side that carries sensitive signals. Black is the side that is treated as non-sensitive. The practice is separation and control, so sensitive signals do not bleed into uncontrolled spaces. Again, the mindset is engineering, not wishing. Also, notice the boundary. You can discuss the existence of emission risks and the reason secure facilities care. What you cannot responsibly do is turn that into a tutorial. Spycraft education should make you harder to fool, not better at harming people. So when someone says it's air-gapped, so it's safe, a Tempest mindset answers. Safe from what? Air-gapped only addresses one path. Emissions are a different path, and this is not just history. As offices fill with cheap cables, chargers, printers, and displays, the number of devices that can leak unintentional signals rises. Most of the time, the risk is low for ordinary people, but for high-value targets, for diplomatic missions, and for anyone handling sensitive negotiations, it is taken seriously. Next, let's connect this to modern life without paranoia. What is reasonable, what is not, and why policy usually beats gadgets. So what do you do with Tempest without turning into a conspiracy guy? First, you treat it like any other security topic. Threat model. If you are a normal person posting on social media, Tempest is interesting history and a reminder that the world is bigger than passwords. If you handle sensitive business negotiations, legal strategies, high-stakes journalism, or government work, it becomes a practical question. Where does sensitive work happen, and what devices are in that space? Second, separate security theater from real controls. Buying random gadgets because you saw a video is usually wasted money. Real emission security, when it matters, is handled through facility design, evaluated equipment, controlled cable runs, and policy. That is not glamorous, but it is how serious organizations operate. The public NSA handbook, NACSIM 5000, exists for a reason. It frames the concept and the mindset, not a do-it-yourself kit. Third, understand the everyday version of the principle. You do not need exotic interception to leak information. A smart speaker in the room, a camera on a laptop, a printer logging jobs, or a phone on the table can become a channel. Those are not compromising emanations in the strict technical sense, but they are the modern equivalent of unintended signals, and they are far more common. Here is a clean rule. Do sensitive thinking in controlled environments. That means fewer devices, fewer wireless radios, fewer unknown cables, fewer always-on microphones. It also means disciplined habits, like not discussing confidential matters in public spaces where you cannot control who is nearby. If you are in a team or organization, the best upgrade is procedural. Define what is sensitive, define where it can be discussed, and define what devices are allowed in that space. Train it, enforce it. If you cannot enforce a policy, it is not a policy, it is a suggestion. quick exercise. Look around your workspace and name every device with a mic, a camera, or a radio. If you cannot name it, you cannot control it. Control starts with inventory. And if you are a creator, this is the angle that matters. Tempest is proof that spycraft is not just deception and gadgets. It is engineering, or risk management, and humility in the face of physics. The old school lesson stands. Security is not one trick. It is layers. It is boring. It is consistent. That is why it works every day. Help me out by subscribing. And if you want a free copy of my book, The Declassified Dossier, go to nolanrourke.com. You can also enter to win a chance at an advanced reader copy of my new novel, Remnant Directive.